I'm the exact opposite of Senator Cruz, who's the most extreme senator in the United States Senate, maybe the most extreme in the last 30 years. But that's not enough. He's also only focused on himself. That's how you can go to Cancun when millions of Texans need you and hundreds are dying. The truth is, we don't have to be embarrassed by our senator. We can get a new one. That's what this election is all about. That's what I'm asking Texans to give me a chance to do.
During a debate on Tuesday, Congressman Colin Allred, the Democratic candidate for Senate in Texas, tore into Senator Ted Cruz, reminding voters that they aren't necessarily stuck with Cruz, at least not yet. In fact, this year Democrats seem to have a shot at flipping this Senate seat. Cruz and Allred are separated by 1 percentage point right now, well within the margin of error. The pressure is on now for Allred to do something Democrats have tried to do in that state for a long time, turn it purple. Joining me now is the Democratic Congressman Colin Allred, candidate for the U.S. Senate in Texas. Congressman, good to see you again. Thanks for being with us tonight. This is always tricky in Texas, right? Because sometimes people get close and there's an energy about the fact that it's going to happen, and then something goes weird. So where are you now with 18 days to go in this election where you're closing in? This race is really, really tight. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ali. Thanks for having me on. I'm here in Austin. And listen, this is not going to be about our past here in Texas. This is about our future and a very fundamental choice that we have to make with a senator who for 12 years has shown us exactly who he is and what he's not interested in doing, which is representing the people of this state. That's how you can go to Cancun when folks need you most. That's how you can try to work to overthrow an American presidential election, take away a woman's right to choose, versus someone like me who has been the most bipartisan Texan in Congress, who has a record of getting things done for our state and who wants to serve all 30 million of us. And so I know that our past is something that is interesting to folks, but I think Texans are much more interested in our future and who can serve us for the next 6 years.
Across the country, organizations like Real Clear Politics or Cook Political Report are shifting things, and a lot of people are concerned that it looks like they're shifting toward Donald Trump in small measure. Cook Political Report took your state from being likely Republican to lean Republican. That's sort of one less for Ted Cruz. What's going on and why is that happening in the state? What's happening now that was different from 6 months ago?
Yeah. Well, I think in part they're just now, recognizing the objective reality of what we've known for months in Texas, which is that this is an incredibly close race. But we are building a broad coalition, one that includes, of course, Democrats, yes, but also independents and Republicans. Every single day I talk to a Texan who's telling me that they've never voted for a Democrat before, but they're getting involved with my campaign. I was here campaigning with Liz Cheney not long ago in Dallas. My friend Adam Kinzinger has been helping out. We're building a broad coalition, and it's one that I think believes in our state and also in our democracy and our Constitution, and it's one that's going to kick Ted Cruz out of office.
I'm not too far from you. I'm in Phoenix, and like Texas, Arizona is one of those places where immigration and the border are real concerns. Reproductive rights are real concerns. Obviously, the cost of living is a real concern. What are you hearing from your constituents and people who you want to get to vote for you about what's really driving them and what's likely to make the decision for them on November 5th?
Yeah. Well, in Texas, we've been experiencing what a near total ban on abortion looks like. And there are so many brave Texas women, whether it's Kate Cox or Amanda Zarowski or Dr. Austin Denard or Lauren Miller or Taylor Edwards. I could keep going and keep going, unfortunately, because there are so many brave Texas women who've come forward and told their family stories about what impact this has been having, and telling it in a way that I think Texans are really starting to understand, and that to fundamentally understand that this is an issue of freedom, that a freedom has been taken away in this state by Ted Cruz, and that this is his abortion ban, and that by beating him, we can restore this freedom. And of course, there's many other concerns, rising costs. We do have to secure the border. Ted Cruz has prevented us from doing that. We do have to protect Medicare and Social Security. There are a lot of things that are important, but this fundamental freedom is also one that I think is driving so much of what's happening here. And for anyone watching this who wants to restore that freedom, I hope you'll go to colinallred.com and get involved with us, because we're going to beat Ted Cruz here. We're going to make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again, and we're going to restore this freedom to Texas women.
Talk about the border for a second. You said that Ted Cruz's border policy is worse than nothing. He treats our border communities like he's going on some kind of safari. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Well, as I said in the debate, my family's from Brownsville, Texas, which is the tip of Texas. My grandfather was a customs officer there. And there's nothing worse, really, than coming down to the Valley or going to one of our border communities and just pointing out problems, but not being a part of solutions. Because then you're using them like they're like a political backdrop, right? Like you're there to take your photo shoot and just get out of there. Or like I said in the debate, to be on a safari and put on your outdoor clothes and try to look tough, but then never be part of the solution. And we have a bill come up, in the United States Senate for $20 billion for 1,500 new Border Patrol officers and 100 new immigration judges and 4,000 new asylum personnel and technology to catch fentanyl, and you say no to it because you think you are more important than our state. Well, listen, it's our border communities that also understand that as well. And so that's why we're going to vote him out. And it's really unacceptable. And you can't have a senator who thinks that their election or that their short-term political interest is more important than 30 million Texans.
Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Congressman Colin Allred of Texas.
Thanks, Alex.